Imagine arriving on a place so unusual that it feels like you've landed on another planet. In the Philippines, there is an island that looks like no other, with rough landscapes, bright colors, and strange rock formations that seem right out of a sci-fi story. Now let's look at why this Philippine island looks like another planet. 1. Rolling hills and rugged terrain. The island is famous for its wide, rolling hills that stretch endlessly across the island, creating a stunning landscape that feels simple and pure. The island is rough and constantly swept by the wind, with slopes covered in soft green grass that moves with the breeze. As the hills extend to the horizon, they form a mix of smooth, rounded shapes and jagged peaks that rise sharply from the ground. The cliffs are steep and dramatic, dropping suddenly to the sea below, adding to the island's sense of isolation. The land has been shaped over centuries by strong winds, heavy rain, and occasional volcanic activity, which have formed the hills into their current shape. These natural forces have created a unique pattern of smooth, flowing lines that seems to stretch effortlessly across the island. The hills appear both raw and polished, with a wildness that suggests they have remained unchanged for ages. Looking at these rolling hills can make visitors feel like they've stepped onto another world, where the land seems strange and unfamiliar. Human presence has also left its mark, with traditional stone walls that divide the land into small sections, adding a touch of culture to the scenery. The simplicity of the land, combined with the smooth curves of the hills and occasional stone boundaries, creates a peaceful atmosphere, though there is also a feeling of ruggedness and solitude. The winds, which are often strong and steady, blow through the grass, carrying the scent of the sea and the earth, making the island feel far from everything else. In the distance, the hills blend with the sky, sometimes hidden by mist or glowing in the warm light of sunrise or sunset, making the landscape even more magical. 2. Unique rock formations. The island's cliffs and rock formations are truly one of a kind, standing out from the usual tropical scenery found elsewhere in the Philippines. These formations, shaped and worn down over thousands of years by nature's forces, create a rough coastline. The sharp jagged rocks stick out from the sea, their edges rough and pointed like ancient castles. Some cliffs rise up steeply from the water, towering high above the waves, while others stretch out across the land, uneven and full of deep cracks and natural caves. The changing light throughout the day brings out the strange beauty of these formations, especially when they are covered in mist. In the early morning or late afternoon, the mist wraps around the sharp peaks like a curtain, giving the whole scene a dreamlike feel. When the weather is stormy, the cliffs seem even more dramatic, their dark shapes standing out against the angry sky, with waves crashing forcefully at their base. At low tide, the rocky shorelines are exposed, revealing tide pools where water swirls around the rocks, making beautiful patterns. The air smells of salt and earth, with the sound of waves hitting the rocks filling the air like a never-ending natural melody. These remarkable formations are a true symbol of the island's raw beauty, a place where nature's power is clearly visible, constantly shaping and changing the land. 3. Sparse vegetation and open spaces. Batanes' landscape is a special mix of wide open spaces and little vegetation, creating a peaceful yet strange feeling that makes one feel distant. The rolling hills are mostly covered with thin grasslands, with patches of rough, wind-swept plants that find it difficult to grow because of the strong coastal winds. These open fields go on for miles, giving a rare sense of emptiness where the earth and sky seem to meet in a continuous line. The sky above is an endless blue, usually clear and unbroken, which adds to the feeling of isolation and quiet in the area. In the distance, the ocean meets the land in sharp cliffs, the rough edges falling into the bright blue waters below. The vast ocean seems to reflect the emptiness of the land, as if the island is a forgotten place floating in the sea. The land's lack of people, with few signs of human life, makes the place feel untouched and isolated. The sun casts long shadows across the land, making the thin grass and rocks stand out against the wide empty sky. The stillness and quiet of the environment make it feel like being in a distant, unexplored world, far away from civilization. 4. Traditional stone houses. The traditional Ivatan stone houses are a striking feature of Batanes, with their thick, waterproof stone walls blending naturally into the island's rugged landscape. These strong homes, made from local limestone and coral stones, have a grayish, earthy color that matches the surrounding rocky hills and cliffs. The low sloping roofs, made from nipa palm leaves, are built to endure the island's strong winds, fitting perfectly with the harsh environment. The houses sit close to the ground, and their heavy stone walls protect against the hot sun and cold winds, giving them an ancient, timeless feel that contrasts with modern buildings. With their simple, practical design, featuring small, arched windows and thick wooden doors, the houses give off a sense of durability and self-reliance, as if they have survived centuries without change. The houses seem to have been part of the land for ages, their worn stone surfaces showing signs of enduring harsh weather. The thick stone walls, built carefully and precisely, makes the houses feel like fortress, adding to the sense of isolation. Surrounded by open, empty land, these homes enhance the land's mysterious atmosphere, as if the people living in them are protectors of a forgotten world. The Ivatan houses, with their lasting presence and deep connection to the land, give off a sense of timelessness, as though they belong to a place where time moves slowly, almost unnoticed. 5. Isolation and location. Batanes is located at the farthest northern tip of the Philippines, far away from the busy cities and familiar landscapes of the rest of the country. Its isolation, surrounded by vast oceans and distant from more populated islands, gives it a feeling of being separate from the world. This remoteness makes Batanes seem to exist in its own time and place, like a forgotten part of the earth, untouched by the fast pace of modern life. The few people who visit Batanes are often amazed at how little it has changed over time. The untouched beauty of its natural surroundings, from the wide grasslands to the tall stone houses, creates an ancient, almost otherworldly feel. The island feels like a hidden world, where time seems to move slower, with only the sound of the wind and waves reminding you of its existence. Its isolation makes it feel like a distant planet, far away and mysterious, where the usual rules of life don't seem to apply. Only a few people come here, and those who do often feel as though they've discovered something rare, something unlike anything else. The separation from the rest of the Philippines gives Batanes a unique, almost magical charm, as if it's a secret place known only to the earth and the sea.